Why is it important to be in the best shape possible and live a healthy lifestyle? Some people think it's okay to be out of shape, and I find it absolutely ridiculous that you can sit there and, be okay with the fact that you walk around with 100 pounds extra on top of your stomach. That's not okay. And you know that too deep down. You just surround yourself with yes men that say that all this stuff is okay. At the end of the day, what do you really care about? Do you care about your long-term health, or do you care about short-time pleasure? Because short-time pleasure is going to give you short-time results, and long-time health is going to give you long-time pleasure. You're the person who decides if you're going to change your lifestyle. You're the person who decides if you're going to eat healthy that day. No one else is doing it except for you. And the thing that I have to say is, how do you think future generations are going to look at you? How do you think your future generations are going to grow up based on your example? You set the standard for the rest of the generations. That's what's so important. For instance, for me, my father set the example for me. As I grew up, I learned all the healthy factors that come into getting into shape because my father did that. He set the example. I watched him grow up, and I'm like, okay, if this is how he's going to live his lifestyle, this is how I'm going to live mine, okay? And as I grew up, I realized the importance of actually being in shape and how it translates into mental health, how it translates into better opportunities opening up just because people look at you more serious because they know you take your health serious, and that means you take your life serious, right? So at the end of the day, are you setting the example that you want for your children, or are you not? Because if you're not, then something needs to change, and you know that deep down, but you're just not doing it because you're too lazy, or you just don't have the motivation every day. Well, let me tell you, everybody doesn't have motivation every single day. It's not always there. That's where discipline and consistency has to come in, right? Discipline and consistency are the most important factors when it comes to getting into shape, right? Because I'm not always motivated. When I wake up, the first thing I want to do is scroll on my phone and just kind of lay there for a couple hours, but I realize, wait, I shouldn't be doing this. I should be productive right now. I should go for a walk. And guess what? When I do that, I don't want to at first, but after, I feel like $1 million. The rest of my day is planned out. I feel healthier. Just my mental state just feels better. And the thing is, you won't realize what being active and productive does for you until you actually stay consistent in doing it. And if you're not doing it, you're never gonna know what it's like, right? So that's where it comes down to just starting. So if you're not starting, then you're never gonna see results. You're never gonna get to the shape that you want to be in. And this kind of leads into, social media, right? You can use social media as a distraction where every single day you scroll through it and you're just using it in order to get a quick burst of dopamine, right? However, you can also use it as a tool. So instead of using it as a distraction where it becomes a repeating cycle of you getting a quick burst of dopamine and then feeling all right and then putting the phone down, feeling like crap, picking it up, getting a quick burst of dopamine, it's gonna be a repeating cycle, right? So use it as a tool where if you're gonna go through social media, look for things that are actually gonna help you learn knowledge, gain knowledge in order to actually better yourself. So if you look at my content, right, it's full of health tips, working out tips, how to actually properly train, what are certain things that you need to do while working out, like progressive overload, focusing on hypertrophy, what are the benefits of the sauna. I give all these tips so people can use them and implement it into their life. But the thing is, people live that lifestyle through me, right? So they'll scroll and they'll be like, okay, he's living a cool lifestyle, I enjoy this, I'm just gonna continue to scroll and watch it, put my phone down and not implement it. If you're not implementing it, then the point of my content is useless. You're just using it to better your mindset for a quick 30 seconds instead of using it as a long-term benefit, right? Like what we went over before. You need to use social media as a tool. You need to scroll, select something that you find interesting and that will help better you, and you need to use it, right? You need to get off your phone and whatever that social media thing said, you need to use it, okay? Now, don't mind, obviously there's a lot of things on social media that are kind of like whack, right? Like don't implement all the unhealthy behaviors and stuff like that. Like implement the things that you know will better your life, right? So you get the point that I'm trying to get across right here. So guys, once you actually learn how to implement tools into your life that will help better your overall quality of life, you will set the standard for generations below you. Like I said before, they will see exactly what you're doing and they will implement it into their own life naturally instead of having to force someone to do it, right? That's the worst thing that you have to do, is grow up and actually have to learn how to get into shape because you didn't see it beforehand. It becomes so much of an easier process when the generations below you or your future kids see it growing up, so they already have it naturally implemented into their bodies and their mind, right? So at the end of the day, you set the standard, you set the goals, you are the one who's going to set the whole entire example for the future of your kids and their generations.